This audio program has been produced as a supplement to Side by Side Extra and Side by Side Plus, Student Book 3, by Stephen J. Malinsky and Bill Bliss. Copyright 2016 by Pearson Education Incorporated. All rights reserved. The use of this audio program for the purposes of copying, transforming, or adapting in any manner, in whole or in part, is strictly prohibited without prior consent of Pearson Education.
Page 33. Side by Side Gazette. Immigration around the world. More than 145 million immigrants live outside their native countries. Immigrants move to other countries for different reasons. Some people move because of war, political or economic problems, or natural disasters such as earthquakes and floods. Some immigrants move to be with family members, to marry, or to find better living conditions. Where are immigrants moving from? And what countries are they moving to? One of the largest immigration flows is from Latin America and Asia to the United States. Another immigrant flow is from Eastern Europe, the former Soviet republics, and North Africa to Western Europe. Many immigrants also move from Africa and Asia to the Middle East. In countries such as Saudi Arabia, 90% of the total population is now foreign-born. When immigrants arrive in a new country, they often live in urban neighborhoods. As a result of immigration, many city neighborhoods change. Immigrants open new stores, restaurants, and other businesses. For example, the historic Esquilino neighborhood in Rome is now the home of a large number of Chinese immigrants. There are also many new immigrants from Albania, Moldova, Bulgaria, and Ukraine. In some schools in Athens, 50% of the children are foreign-born. Los Angeles and New York are two cities in the United States with very large immigrant populations. In Los Angeles, 37% of the population is foreign-born, and children in the public schools speak 82 different languages. In New York, 40% of the population is foreign-born, and children speak 140 different languages in the schools. Page 33. Ellis Island.
Ellis Island was an immigration center on an island in the harbor of New York City. Between 1892 and 1954, 12 million immigrants passed through Ellis Island. At Ellis Island, immigration officials checked immigrants' documents, gave them medical examinations, and decided if the immigrants could stay in the United States. Most immigrants came from Italy, Russia, Hungary, Austria, Austria-Hungary, Germany, England, and Ireland. More than 40% of all Americans today have a present or past relative who came through Ellis Island.
34. Interview. A side-by-side Gazette reporter recently visited Mr. Tran Nguyen, a Vietnamese immigrant in Australia. Mr. Nguyen lives and works in a Vietnamese and Chinese neighborhood in the suburbs of Melbourne.
When did you immigrate to Australia, and why?
Well, my brother left Vietnam in 1983 and came here to Australia. 7 years later, his wife and children joined him. I came here 3 years ago with my wife and children to be with my brother and his family.
Do you work?
Yes, I work 7 days a week in my brother's restaurant, and I go to English classes at night.
What did you do in Vietnam?
I was a teacher. I taught mathematics. I want to be a teacher here someday, but first I want to send my children to college.
What do you miss most about Vietnam?
I miss my community and my friends. In Vietnam, people took care of each other. It's not the same here. Everyone here works very hard. People are very busy. They don't have much time to spend with friends.
What do you like about your life here?
We have many opportunities. My wife and I both have good jobs, and my son and daughter will go to college someday. I think we will have a very good future here, and we're very grateful.
Page 35. We've got mail.
Dear Side by Side, I have a question about tenses in English. Sometimes I hear people use the present tense when they are talking about the future. For example, I was watching a TV program in English yesterday, and I heard a man say, "I'm flying to London tomorrow. My plane leaves at 9:30. But if a man is talking about tomorrow, shouldn't he use the future tense? I think the correct way to say this is, "I'm going to fly to London tomorrow. My plane will leave at 9:30. Did the man on the TV program make a mistake? Sincerely, Tense About the Future.
Dear Tense About the Future, your question is a very good one. No, the man on the TV program didn't make a mistake. We often use the present tense to talk about events in the future or about definite plans that we have. For example, you can say, "My brother's wedding is next Saturday. I'm having a party tomorrow. They're going to the beach this weekend. The plumber is coming tomorrow morning." We can also use the present tense to talk about future events that happen at a definite time or on a regular schedule. For example, you can say, "The movie begins at 7:30 tonight. The office opens tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. The train arrives at 6:15. The store closes tonight at 10 p.m. So, you don't need to be tense about the future. You can use both the present and the future tenses to talk about future time. We hope this answers your question. Thanks for your letter, and good luck with your English. Sincerely, Side by Side.
Page 35. Listening. You have 5 messages. Listen to the messages on Dave's machine. Match the messages.
You have 5 messages. Message number 1.
Hi, Dave. It's Sarah. Thanks for the invitation, but I can't come to your party tomorrow. I'll be taking my uncle to the hospital. Maybe next time.
Message number 2.
Hello, Dave. It's Bob. I'm sorry that my wife and I won't be able to come to your party tomorrow. We'll be attending a wedding out of town. I hope it's a great party. Have fun.
Message number 3.
Dave, it's Paula. How's it going? I got your message about the party tomorrow. Unfortunately, I won't be able to go. I'll be studying all weekend. Talk to you soon.
Message number 4.
Hi, Dave. It's Joe. Thanks for the invitation to your party. I'll be visiting my parents in New York City, so I'm afraid I won't be around. I'll call you when I get back.
Message number 5.
Hello, Dave. It's Carla. Thanks for the invitation to your party. I don't have anything to do tomorrow night, so I'll definitely be there. I'm really looking forward to it. See you tomorrow.
Page 36. Fun with idioms.
It's raining cats and dogs.
What's cooking? I'm tied up right now.
I'll give you a ring tomorrow.
The English test was a piece of cake.
The English test was no picnic.
Page 65. Side by Side Gazette. "24/7. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week."
More and more companies around the world are operating 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Many of these companies do business with companies in other time zones around the world. Other companies sell products to customers worldwide. In an age of instant communication by telephone, by fax, and over the internet, many businesses must stay open all the time to serve their customers. International banks, computer companies, manufacturing companies, and businesses that sell their products over the World Wide Web are examples of such companies. Employees of these 24/7 companies have seen changes in their work schedules in recent years. About 20% of employees don't work on a traditional 9 to 5 daytime schedule anymore. Their companies have switched them to other shifts, such as 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. or 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. In the past, many factory workers, doctors and nurses, police, firefighters, and others had these shifts. But now, many office workers have also started to work during these hours. Many local businesses have adjusted their hours to serve the employees of these companies. More and more supermarkets are open 24 hours a day. Restaurants and coffee shops close later and open earlier. And businesses such as photocopy centers, health clubs, laundromats, and even some childcare centers are always open.
Page 66. Interview. Mr. and Mrs. Roberto Souza have 2 children, ages 2 and 4. Mr. Souza works the day shift at a manufacturing company, and Mrs. Souza works at night in an office. Their lives are certainly busy.
Mr. Souza, can you describe your typical day?
I get up at 5:30 a.m. I take a shower, eat breakfast, and make my lunch. Sometimes I do some laundry before I go to work. I leave the house at 6:30 a.m.
Is anyone in your house awake when you leave?
No, everyone is still asleep. I work from 7 a.m. until 3 p.m. After work, I pick up my kids at their grandmother's apartment. Usually we go food shopping, and then we go home to make dinner. My wife has already left for work. I play with the kids, we eat dinner, and then I put the kids to bed. I'm normally asleep by 10 p.m.
And Mrs. Souza, what about your day?
The kids and I get up at 7 o'clock. We eat breakfast, and then they play while I do some housework. Sometimes we go to the park, or we visit family or friends. Other times we go shopping. I take the kids to my mother's apartment at 2 p.m., and I'm at work by 3 p.m. I come home at 11:30 p.m. That's my day.
It sounds exhausting. When do you have time to see your husband?
Sometimes he waits for me to come home, but usually he has already gone to bed. Believe it or not, we really see each other only on the weekends.
Mr. Souza, what's the most difficult thing about your work schedule?
Communication. We leave each other notes and messages about bills, shopping, doctor's appointments, and everything else.
And tell me, Mrs. Souza, is there anything good about these work schedules?
Yes. The children are always with a parent or a grandparent. They don't have to go to daycare, which is expensive. We know these schedules won't last forever. When the children are both in school, maybe we can each have a daytime job. I hope so.
Page 67. Listening. Office voicemail. Listen to the voicemail messages between Gloria Rivera and her office assistant, Sam. Has Sam done the things on Ms. Rivera's list? Check yes or no.
You have one message. Tuesday, 8:15 a.m.
Hello, Sam. This is Ms. Rivera. I'll be out of the office all day today. I'm not feeling well. Here's a list of things you'll need to do while I'm not here. First, please write a note to Mrs. Wilson and tell her I'm sick. Then, please call Mr. Chen and change the time of our appointment. Also, send an email to everybody in the office and tell them about next week's meeting. Don't forget to speak to the custodian about my broken desk lamp. I hope he can fix it. Let's see. I know there are a few more things. Oh, yes. Please make a list of all the employees and give it to Ms. Baxter. She asked me for the list last week. Okay, Sam. I think that's everything. Oh, one more thing. Please take the package on my desk to the post office if you have time. And that's it. Thanks, Sam. I'll see you tomorrow morning. You have reached the voicemail box of Gloria Rivera. Please leave a message after the tone.
Ms. Rivera, this is Sam. I'm sorry you aren't feeling well. I hope you feel better tomorrow. I'm calling to tell you what I've done today and what I haven't done yet. It's been very busy here, so I haven't had time to do everything. I wrote a note to Mrs. Wilson. I called Mr. Chen and changed the time of your appointment. I also sent the email about next week's meeting. I haven't spoken to the custodian. He's been sick all week. I made a list of all the employees, but I haven't given it to Ms. Baxter yet. I'll give it to her early tomorrow morning. Finally, I haven't taken the package to the post office yet. I haven't had time. I'm going to take it to the post office on my way home. Again, I hope you're feeling better. I'll see you in the morning.
Page 67. Fun with idioms.
My new coworker is a real peach.
She's the top banana in our company.
He's a real ham at office parties.
He's a couch potato.
She's a smart cookie.
He wants to ask for a raise, but he's chicken.
Page 68. We've got mail.
Dear Side by Side, we are students in Mr. Smith's class at the English Language Center, and we are very confused. We just don't understand the present perfect tense. We don't have this tense in our languages. We don't know when to use it, and we really don't like all these past participles, such as given and driven. Why do we need this tense anyway? Why can't we just use the tenses we already know? Sincerely, perfectly happy with the present and the past.
Dear Perfectly Happy, the present perfect tense has always been difficult for learners of English. We'll try to explain it to you with some examples. We use the present perfect tense to talk about things that happened or didn't happen sometime in the past, but the exact time isn't important. For example, I have already seen that movie. He has never ridden a motorcycle. She hasn't gone to the bank yet. Things that happened many times in the past. For example, I have driven trucks for many years. We have eaten lunch there many times. Things that happened in the past and are still happening in the present. For example, I have known them for 2 years. She has been sick since last Thursday. They have lived here for a year. It's interesting how different languages express time in different ways, and we can understand why this tense is difficult for you. In your languages, you might say, I live here since last year. I am living here since last year. I lived here since last year. In English, these are all wrong. Sorry. The correct way to say this is, I have lived here since last year. This means I lived here before and I still live here now. So that's why we need the present perfect tense in English. Thanks for your question, and good luck. Sincerely, Side by Side. Page 111. Side by Side Gazette. The Jamaican Bobsled Team. An unusual group of athletes arrived in Calgary, Canada for the 1988 Winter Olympic Games. The Jamaican Bobsled Team. Many people were surprised. How could the Caribbean island of Jamaica have a bobsled team? Jamaica doesn't have any snow. The Jamaican athletes had never competed in the Winter Olympics before. In fact, most of them hadn't ever been on a bobsled or seen snow before they began to prepare for the Olympics. But by the time the team members arrived in Calgary, they had trained hard for their first Olympic event. They had been running and weight training in Jamaica. Then they had gone to a training center in Lake Placid, New York. Unfortunately, they had poor equipment and their bobsled crashed a lot during training. They didn't do well in the Olympics. Most people were sure they had seen the Jamaican bobsled team for the first and last time. But the team didn't give up. They had lost, but they had been in the Olympics, and they wanted to go back and compete again. The team went to a special training center in Germany. They trained there 4 to 8 hours a day. By the time these athletes arrived at the 1994 Olympic Winter Games in Norway, they had become a much stronger bobsled team. They had practiced for years. They were also very famous because a movie about the team, Cool Runnings, had been in theaters around the world the year before. At the 1994 Games, the team came in 14th in the 4-person bobsled event, and they placed 10th in the 2-person event. The team had done the impossible. They had competed well in the Olympics, and they had won the hearts of fans around the world. Page 112. Interview. A side-by-side Gazette reporter interviewed Olga Petrova last week. Olga had just won the women's regional figure skating competition.
Olga, I'm sure you're very happy about today's competition.
Oh, yes. I'm very happy. You know, I had been preparing for this day for a long time.
How had you been preparing?
In the months before the competition, I had been training with my coach 10 hours a day. I had been getting up early, and I had been practicing my routines over and over again.
When did you first know you wanted to compete as a skater?
I began to skate back in Russia when I was 4 years old. By the time I was 7, I had already skated in many competitions, and I had won several medals. We moved here when I was 10, and I began to take lessons at a skating program in our city. By the time I was 11, I had finished all the levels of this program. My parents found a professional coach, Mr. Gary Abrams, and I've been training with him ever since.
Now that you have won this regional competition, what's next?
The national competition. It's in 3 months. I have to work very hard to prepare for that. My dream is to be in the Olympics next winter. I must do very well in the nationals.
Good luck, Olga. We'll see you in the Olympics.
Oh, I hope so.
Page 113. Listening. Olympic Game Highlights. Listen to the Olympic Game highlights. Match the highlight and the sport.
And now, sports fans, let's finish today's program with highlights of the Olympic Games. Here are 5 of my favorite moments in the most recent Summer and Winter Games.
There are 3 seconds left in the game. Number 38 gets ready to shoot again. His team needs this point to win the game. He shoots, and it's in the basket. That's it. The game is over, and the United States wins 99-98. The U.S. gets the gold medal.
Kirshner is still in front. But wait! Look at Tanaka in the next lane. What speed! Look at him move through the water. Tanaka is even with Kirshner. Now Tanaka is ahead. And Tanaka wins the event. Japan wins the gold medal. Germany gets the silver, and Hungary gets the bronze.
Natasha knows she must do this floor routine perfectly to win the gold medal. She had problems today when she fell off the balance beam, and that's usually her best event. She's doing very well. What a strong and graceful athlete. And here's the most difficult part of her routine. Beautiful. But oh! She falls. Natasha has fallen at the very end of her routine. What a shame. There will be no gold for Natasha this year.
What a race! Anderson is still in first place, and Sanchez is right behind him in second place. Look at Sanchez run. He's moving ahead of Anderson. The lead has changed. Sanchez is now in front. He crosses the finish line. Sanchez wins with a time of 2 hours, 10 minutes, and 11 seconds. So Mexico wins the gold, Canada gets the silver, and France gets the bronze.
And Tamara leaves the ice after a beautiful long program. I think that's one of the best programs I've ever seen at the Olympics. She moved so gracefully to the music. Let's see what the judges think. Look at these marks.
5.8, 5.9, 5.9, 5.8, 5.7, 5.9, 5.9, 6.0, 5.8.
Excellent scores. Tamara wins the gold medal. Look at all the flowers people are throwing on the ice. I'm sure this is the happiest day of Tamara's life.
Page 113. Fun with idioms.
Break a leg.
Hold your tongue.
Keep your chin up.
Keep your eye on the ball.
Put your best foot forward.
Get off my back.
Page 114. We've got mail.
Dear Side by Side, I have a question about gerunds and infinitives after verbs. I'm very confused. I know that after some verbs, I must use a gerund, such as practice swimming and consider buying. After other verbs, I must use an infinitive, such as learn to swim and decide to buy. And finally, I know that after some verbs, I can use either a gerund or an infinitive, such as like to swim and like swimming. Are there any rules that will tell me what to do with different verbs? Sincerely, worrying about the rules.
Dear Worrying About the Rules, you seem to understand how to use gerunds and infinitives. Unfortunately, we're sorry to tell you that there aren't any rules about what to do with different verbs. You just have to learn about each verb. Keep on practicing gerunds and infinitives, and stop worrying about the rules. Using these verbs is a lot better than thinking about them too much. Good luck. Sincerely, Side by Side.
Dear Side by Side, we've been studying the present perfect and present perfect continuous tenses in our class for the past several weeks. I think I finally understand this grammar, but now we have begun learning the past perfect tense, and to tell the truth, I don't understand when to use it. Can you help? Sincerely, life was perfect before the past perfect.
Dear Life Was Perfect, we understand your problem because we use both the present perfect and past perfect tenses to talk about things that happened in the past. Here's the difference. We use the present perfect tense to talk about things that happened before now. For example, I don't want to see that movie today. I have already seen it. We use the past perfect tense to talk about things that happened before another time in the past. For example, I didn't want to see that movie yesterday. I had already seen it. We're glad you have learned the present perfect tense, and we're sure you'll do well with the past perfect. Best wishes, Side by Side. Page 145. Side by Side Gazette. From matchmakers to dating services. Marriage traditions and customs are very different around the world. In many cultures, young people meet at school, at work, or in other places. They decide to go out together. They fall in love, and they get married. In other cultures, parents or other family members arrange a match between two young people. In India, for example, a father traditionally finds his daughter a husband. The father might ask friends or relatives to recommend a possible husband, and he might put an ad in the newspaper. The father looks for someone with a good education, occupation, and salary. When he finds a possible match, he sends his daughter's horoscope to the boy's family. An astrologer reads the horoscope and decides if there is a good astrological match between the young man and woman. If the astrologer approves, the families then discuss the marriage arrangements. In many cultures around the world, families use a matchmaker to bring young people together and arrange marriages. This is especially common in rural areas of many countries. Families pay the matchmaker to find a partner for their child. Sometimes the matchmaker also helps families with the business part of a marriage agreement. For example, a family may give or receive animals, products, or other valuable things as part of the marriage arrangement. In some cultures, parents even arrange marriages between children before they are born. These traditions and customs are changing in many places, especially in the modern cities of the world. Young people want the freedom to choose their own partners. Many, however, actually use modern-day versions of the traditional matchmaking services. For example, some people put personal ads in newspapers or magazines. In these ads, people describe themselves and tell what kind of person they're looking for. Others use dating services, companies that bring people together. Most dating services ask people to submit a photograph and fill out a long questionnaire about their background and interests. Some dating services even make videos of their customers. People who use a dating service can usually browse through the company's information to find a possible partner. Page 147. Interview. A side-by-side Gazette reporter spoke with several young couples.
How did you meet?
We met in college.
We met at work.
We met at a bookstore.
We were high school sweethearts.
We met on a blind date that our friends arranged.
We met through a dating service.
Our parents arranged our marriage through a matchmaker.
Page 147. Fun with idioms.
He's nuts about me.
She gave me the cold shoulder.
I fell for him the moment I met him.
We had planned to go on a date, but she stood me up.
Page 148. We've got mail.
Dear Side by Side, I'm trying to figure out two-word verbs. Is there a rule that will tell me which two-word verbs are separable and which are inseparable? I hope to hear you from soon. Sincerely, looking for an answer.
Dear looking for an answer. We're sorry to tell you that there isn't a rule for this. You need to learn about each verb separately. Here's a suggestion. On a piece of paper, make 2 lists. Write down separable 2-word verbs in one list and inseparable 2-word verbs in the other. Then, look up the words on your lists when you can't remember them. By the way, we've circled some words in the last sentence of your letter because hear from is an inseparable 2-word verb. The correct way to say this is, I hope to hear from you soon. Thanks for writing, and good luck with 2-word verbs. Sincerely, Side by Side.
Dear Side by Side, I think 2-word verbs are very difficult. The verb in a 2-word verb has one meaning, but the whole 2-word verb often has a different meaning. For example, I turned on the light, but I turned down the invitation. I take out the garbage, but I take after my father. In my language, we have different words for all these expressions. Why does English use the same words over and over again? Sincerely, turned off by 2-word verbs.
Dear Turned Off, we're sorry to hear you're unhappy. 2-word verbs are very common in everyday English. We actually have special words for many of these meanings, but these words are more formal. For example, you can say, I declined the invitation, and I resemble my father. Most English speakers, however, prefer to use informal language, so they use lots of 2-word verbs. With time, we're sure you'll get over this problem with 2-word verbs. Thanks for your question. Sincerely, Side by Side.
Page 148. Listening. Telephone tag. True or false? Listen to the messages on Mary and Jim's answering machines. Answer true or false.
Monday, 6:15 p.m.
Hi, Mary. It's Jim. Are you by any chance interested in going to a jazz concert this Friday night? Please call me and let me know. Talk to you later.
Monday, 9:13 p.m.
Hi, Jim. It's Mary. I'm returning your call. Thanks for the invitation. I know you like jazz, and I do too. And I'd really like to go to the concert with you, but I have to work this Friday night. Do you want to play tennis on Saturday afternoon? Let me know. Bye.
Tuesday, 3:40 p.m.
Hi, Mary. It's Jim. I'm sorry I missed your call last night. I was at the laundromat and I got home very late. I'm free on Saturday, but unfortunately, I really don't like to play tennis. Actually, I'm a very bad tennis player. Do you want to go to the ballet with me on Saturday night? Let me know, and I'll order tickets. Talk to you soon.
Wednesday, 5:50 p.m.
Hi, Jim. It's Mary. I got your message. Believe it or not, I've already gone to the ballet this week. I went with my sister last night. I have an idea. Let's see the new Steven Spielberg movie. I hear that it's great. Call and let me know.
Thursday, 6:30 p.m.
Hi, Mary. It's Jim. Sorry I missed your call again. I guess we're playing telephone tag. The movie sounds great. I haven't seen it yet. Do you want to have dinner before the movie? There's a wonderful new Italian restaurant downtown. Let me know. Bye.
Friday, 5:17 p.m.
Hi, Jim. Guess who? You won't believe it. I just found out that I have to work this Saturday night. It's a shame because I really wanted to see that movie. I'm not busy on Sunday. Are you free on Sunday afternoon? Let me know. By the way, I don't really like Italian food very much. There's a very good Greek restaurant in my neighborhood. Maybe we can have dinner there after the movie. What do you think? Talk to you later.